Hi, this is Rachel over at Moonlight Library. I'm here today to talk about Book of the Month books, ones that I've read and ones that I haven't, and my thoughts on whether or not I actually read them and what I'm doing with this subscription service, because I love it and I love being able to get new books for an affordable price, hardcover books, not a sponsor, but at the same time, am I actually reading the books that I'm getting, and am I liking the books that I'm getting? Because I think I need to reassess how I'm choosing them too. So anyways, if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe. If you're not new here, then welcome back. I was like, if you're not new here, then what's the next words? So welcome back, and be sure to, if you enjoy this video, be sure to like it. I appreciate, and comment. Let me know, do you have Book of the Month? How do you choose books off Book of the Month? Do you use a subscription service for any books? I have shelves that I've created, so we're gonna post those up as we go. So these are the ones that I loved. These are the ones that got like 5 or 4 stars from me. And the first one on the list, the oldest one, is Dark Matter. I did buy it much later. I read it last year and I thought it was amazing. Sci-fi. I knew what I was getting into when I got this book. I'd heard so many great things, and I'm a big Andy Weir fan, so I had a feeling that this would be one that really resonated with me, and it did. It was action sci-fi, and I enjoyed it. Maybe I should get more books like that. Next one is Turn of the Key. I'd already tried Ruth Ware before, so I knew what I was getting into. I wanted a mystery. I'd heard so many amazing things that it was Turn of the Screw inspired, and I was like, I love it. I love the adaptation of a classic. And it's something right up my alley, kind of dark, mysterious. There's a poison garden. We're loving it, but also a smart house. So there you go. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This was one of actually Red, White, and Royal Blues right next to this. So I'll talk about these kind of together. These were some of my first romance books that I was reading. I kind of was going for the softer romance, and I loved both of these. I tried out Red, White, and Royal Blue first, and it really caught me, and I was like, wait a second, maybe I am kind of a romance girly. This was a couple years ago when that came out. And I realized it kind of showed me this might be something that I could be interested in more often. On to the next shelf. Home Before Dark was another one of the first ones I got, and spooky haunted house, this girl going back to a childhood home where she's kind of figuring out what happened to her and what she experienced in this house. And her dad had written stories about their experiences in this haunted house. He had just passed away. She gets left this house and she's trying to sell it, and it was my first Riley Sager, and I was like, this is it. I'm into Riley Sager. So yes. Piranesi, another one that I was like, I knew I would. I feel like when we're going through this love shelf, it's very obvious. These were books that I knew, I had a feeling. I picked them for a reason, and they worked for me very, very well. So Piranesi's is this book that's kind of labyrinthian. It is mythical. It is weird. It's just a wonderful book. And I had a feeling I was in the mood for fantasy. Another one, Leave the World Behind. I kind of like this abstract end of the world thing, and it worked so well for me. I think I love apocalyptic books. I don't typically dislike an apocalyptic book. So it's something I will gravitate towards and find an enjoyable read through. The next one, Legendborn. I read this more recently, and I had picked it up when it came out, I think, and I just never got around to reading it, and then I did now. And I've been in this mood for fantasy, and I like this melding of kind of real world plus really kind of fantastical world. And it just worked for me. And the beginning of a series, I can't wait to read Bloodmarked. Like, yes. Next shelf. So we have two books. I'm going to take 2 books off the shelf. People We Meet on Vacation and Love Hypothesis. Another, like, I love a soft romance, and they worked really well for me. People We Meet on the Vacation is this kind of like, not really enemies to lovers, kind of this, like we used to be friends, now we're not, and then we're kind of like, but wait a second, and I was feeling it. But then you also have Love Hypothesis, which is fake dating, which love that, but I also love this addition of science into it. I was gonna say I already read Allie Hazelwood. I had not yet. We're getting there. But both of them just, I knew they would work for me. I feel like I knew from the get-go, like, these are books that I'm going to love. It took me a while to get around to People We Meet on Vacation, but it worked. Then Project Hail Mary, obviously. The Martian's one of my favorite books. Like, I chose it because I was like, there's no way I'm not reading this book. There's no freaking way. Beautiful World, Where Are You? This one, I'm a Sally Rooney girly. Sally Rooney girly. Like, that's the type of girly I am a little bit, you know? I have that little piece inside of my heart, and it worked. I love friendship. I love, like, just, you know, communication between people. Like, I really enjoy it. I love the chat. Next shelf. Flicker in the Dark. This is one I did not really know I would like that much, but I still chose it because I was like, I do like mysteries. So I was intrigued, and it had won best book of last year, or one of the best books. I don't remember. So I chose it, and it was amazing. It was really good. And then The Change, women, power, doing supernatural stuff, like mysteries. It's there. It's all there. House Across the Lake, Riley Sager. I don't know. I really liked it. It's kind of this, like, he's this horror mystery amalgamation that I just kind of feed off of. And then Love on the Brain, obviously, Allie Hazelwood. Like, she can do no wrong. Sorry, anyone who thinks she can, but that's your opinion. Next we go is to liked books. This is where we're gonna get into dicey territory. Maybe not. Okay, so the first shelf, we have Ninth House. I really like this book, but something happened in it when I read it where it just, like, it kind of upset me, and I kind of feel like I need to reread it and re-experience it because I have Hellbent, and I really do want to read that. And I feel like I liked Ninth House than more. Maybe I'll like it more the second time, and I won't be as like about whatever happened. I'm not talking about it here. The next one, A Burning. I didn't really fully know that I would like this book, but one of my book club members happened to pick this book for their choice, so I just went ahead and got it through Book in the Month because it was available here. So I wasn't choosing it because I was like, I'm gonna love this book. Like, realistic fiction, sometimes not my jam, you know? Not political commentary, sometimes not my jam. Next one is Anxious People. I'd never read a Frederick Bachman, so that's why I got it. And I was like, it's good. Like, all of these it's good, but they didn't hit for me. They didn't, like, hit. And then The Maidens. Once again, I'm choosing books here that I had heard people really liking a predecessor to these books, and I decided to choose the book because of that. So The Maidens, I got it because Silent Patient was so big, and I'd never read Silent Patient, and I also really like Dark Academia, so I was like, maybe this will work for me. Maybe it's something I'll end up enjoying, and it really was not. The last one on this list is The Other Black Girl. I think I had really high hopes for this one, and I thought that it would achieve those hopes, but it felt like a slog to get to a last 20 pages sprint. And it was like, everything was just like, oh, it's a little weird, it's a little odd, you know, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, everything's happening at the very end. And I was like, it was good, but it wasn't amazing. Next shelf. One Last Stop. See, I thought I would like this one. You think I would like this one because I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue. But this one was kind of just like, I don't remember feeling that attached to the characters. I didn't really feel like their romance made sense to me. I was just kind of like, what's going on here? And there was a train and time travel. Not my favorite. And then the next one, Inheritance of Orchidea Divina. This one, magical realism's not my thing. And I think this was one of those months where I chose a book because I felt like I had to. And I need to start skipping months more often, which I've done that like maybe once, but I need to do it more often when I'm just like wishy-washy on any of the titles that come up. Like, I need to be okay with just being like, this ain't it. Next is Harlem Shuffle. This, once again, I do love Colson Whitehead. Like, I have read Colson Whitehead and really enjoyed him, but this was chosen as a book club pick. Once again, I probably wouldn't have picked this one up because it's like crime historical fiction. Like, does not sound like my thing, but Colson Whitehead writes in a different genre every time he writes, so you never know what you're getting. The next one's X-Hex. It was cute, and that's about it. Like, it's not really gonna sit with me forever. Like, I don't know, not really my thing. So the last shelf, I'm probably not gonna say these in order because who knows what the order is. A History of Wild Places. This one, it was like a cult. I don't even remember that well. I think that I was just kind of bored by what was happening in it, and that was it. So, I don't know. So the next one is Kiss Her Once for Me. Okay, so this one, I thought I would think it was really cute. It looks like a soft romance, blah, blah, blah. But the main character just aggravated me. I thought the romance was cute. The couple made sense. I liked the other, like the love interest, and I loved the family. But it's that main character. She was a lot. I feel like she had a lot of anxiety, and I have a lot of anxiety, so it was hard for me to read. I was like, you're making me anxious. Like, I struggle from anxiety, and you're making me anxious, so I cannot handle. So, yeah. The It Girl, Ruth Ware, I thought I would like it. I really did. I was like, this is a book I'm going to like. Well, guess what? I didn't like it. I liked it. It was okay. It's just I called out what was going to happen, and it wasn't super unpredictable to me. Like, it was kind of predictable. Next up, The Bodyguard. The Bodyguard, it was okay. It was okay. Maybe it's celebrity romances for me. It wasn't like, I wanted more steam. Like, I guess I'm closer into this point of my life where I'm like, steam, a little more steam, buds. Let's get it. And they're not getting it. So, you know, I don't know. It was just okay. My dislike shelf. There are only two. The first one is White Horse. Well, I guess the first one's actually Too Good to Be True. My God, it was too good to not be true. Because the ending, because this isn't a giveaway, but I didn't realize, maybe it isn't. So the whole book, this main character has OCD, and her OCD is very, like, it's like the author just took like the very textbook definition of what OCD is and was like, this is it. And I'm like, not always. I don't know. And then the story was kind of but then all of a sudden, like, I'm gonna give a spoiler away, and I'll put a spoiler warning up, but it doesn't really matter. Spoilers real quick. It is her OCD is cured through love. Through love. What is that? You can't cure OCD through love. No, no, that's the end of the book. And also it's a mystery. Thriller? I don't know. It was bad. Sorry if you liked it. It wasn't for me. It's out of the spoiler zone. White Horse, kind of boring. It was like a horror that wasn't scary or like horrifying to me. I don't know. It wasn't for me. Okay, next up, we're going to go through the books that I have gotten rid of. The books I no longer own. The first shelf is going to include, yes, Beast of Extraordinary Circumstances. I just unhauled it. Most of these are from my unhaul haul, so I'm just going to tell you why I thought I would like it. It was really highly rated, and I thought I would want to read it, and I just, I never picked it up. Imaginary Friend, I'd read Perks of Being a Wallflower. Like, I'm in that age bracket that was like, the book. That was the book as a teenager. And so this came out, and I was very excited, but everyone hated it, so I didn't read it. American Dirt, I unhauled a while ago because there was a lot of, controversy about the book itself, and I thought I was going to read it to be like, why is there controversy? And then I was like, Rachel, you don't want to read this book. You don't want to read it. The Knockout Queen, I don't know what it's about. I thought it was like maybe a YA thing, and it just did not, I think I just convinced myself that it was a book I should buy, and then I didn't read it. Vanishing Half, it's because it was so big. I was like, I'm going to read this because everyone's reading this. And then I was like, Rachel, you don't like historical fiction. So, obvious. Next is the Office of Historical Corrections. I think this was another choice of I just had to pick something. And so this is what happened. And then Ready Player 2. I wanted to read this book. And then I heard it was so bad that I did not read it. The Removed. That was another book that I picked up just because I thought I should I needed to pick a book. And some of these books that I'll pick up is mainly because I feel like I'm supposed to pick a book firstly. I want to. But also secondly, because they have books that you can only get as add-ons. So I'll get the main book so I can get the add-on. That doesn't make any sense. It's like $25 just to get. That doesn't. Anyways. Bad idea. So we're changing our pathways. We're changing this. Next is After Parties. I definitely thought that I wanted to read this book. It's like short stories, and the author just passed away, and I was like, oh my God, that's so sad, and I wanted to read it, but then I was like, Rachel, this isn't a book that you're gonna pick up. And then Vladimir, I think this was another one that I was like, oh, I just need to pick a book. So I just picked this book, and why? And then The Most Likely Club. This was an add-on. I couldn't even explain to you what I was thinking when I got that. I had convinced myself that it was a good idea, though. I was like, maybe you want to read this. No. Okay. So next are books that I have not read yet. Books that I haven't read yet. So 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I want to read this. I just read Daisy Jones and the Six finally, and I think I might like Taylor Jenkins Reid. So maybe I'm there. Bringing Down the Duke I got because I was going to make a video with it, and maybe at some point I will. I still have the plan. Things in Jars. Can't seem to get rid of it. Mermaids, mystery, Victorian England, I think. I just told you I didn't like historical books, so I don't know. The next one is Splendid and the Vile. World War II sounds interesting. Am I gonna read it? I don't think so, but we can always dream. Mexican Gothic. It sounds so good. I really do want to read it. I just have to actually pick it up. The Heiress and the Duke. You know exactly why I got it. It was for a video. And maybe I'll make that video. It's coming. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I still haven't read 5th season, but I just have a feeling. I have a feeling I'm going to really like it. And then Ariadne. I read Circe a while ago. Dogs, please no. I read Circe a while ago, and I adored that book. And I'm like, I want to read more mythological retellings. So next is Malibu Rising, and Taylor Jenkins Reid's. I bought all these books without ever having read a book from her, and I was going to make a Taylor Jenkins Reid video, but then I deleted all the footage from me reading Daisy Jones and Six, so we're not making that. No. And then I also had 56 Days with that on the last of this list, and I still want to read it. It's a mystery, and I feel like it's good on my shelves. I'm going to get around to it. Next, Riley Sager's Survive the Night. I've heard it's really bad, but you know what? I sometimes hear that about other Riley Sager books, and I still like them. So it doesn't matter to me. I might like it still. Crying in H Mart. I think at some point I might want to read this book. I don't really read memoirs, but you don't know. And then The Cartographers. Archaeologists thing? I don't know. Sounded interesting. Kayaki? This one, another retelling, mythological retelling, sounds interesting. And then Darling Girl, which is a retelling of Peter Pan. A retelling thing. Maybe I should just do a thing of retellings, because now we have next shelf Stardust Thief, another, I believe, retelling. So maybe this is a thing. Then Tomorrow. Video games, like, I want to read it at some point. It sounds really good, and I'm gonna get around to it. And then Upgrade by Blake Crouch. It's the new Blake Crouch, and I love Dark Matter, so I have a feeling I'm gonna like it. Small Angels. This is like a horror book. I don't really know much about it, but it did kind of spark my interest. Same with Thistlefoot. Like, I don't know. Is it like Baba Yaga? I don't know. Sounds interesting. Last shelf. I think all these are pretty good. Sign Here. It's the devil. It's hell. It's people just working in hell. And that is me. That is my vibes. My vibes. Hellbent. Once again, hell. My vibes. You know me? No, you don't. Maybe you do. That's me. Yeah, that's a sequel to Ninth House. And I think I will like Ninth House if I read it a second time. Because also it left on a very interesting note. So I feel like I was a little too harsh on it. And then The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. I love Bret Easton Ellis. I haven't read any of his more recent stuff. He hasn't really written much more recently, so we're interested. Writing Retreat, I like a mystery. It's also, I think it's this month's Literally Dead Book Club pick, so I'm trying to read it before then, or at the time I'm making this video. Anyways, yeah, so those are reasons. And then the last book I got was The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. I've been really into fantasy, and that's why I got that. So I don't think it's a bad idea that I have Book of the Month. I think I need to be more cognizant of how I'm spending my money on there, because yes, it's credits and like money comes out of your account automatically, but you can skip months. So I should be okay with skipping a month if I don't see a book that is a book that I obviously want to read. Like, I should only be buying books that I actually really want to read, because it is a good amount of money to be paying for a hardcover, but at the same time, I don't need to be buying a book every single month if there's not something I want, because obviously it's not always going to be something I'm interested in, and I don't need to convince myself, because most of the books that I've convinced myself to get are the ones I end up getting rid of without reading. So that's my spiel on Beak of the Month. Beak of the Month here. Do you want your beak this month? What is it, a duck beak? I'm sorry, is it a bird beak? Stop it. There's so many birds with beaks. Would you like them beaks? Oh my god. Anyways, so I've decided to keep it. Just mindfulness. That's what I talk about in my Unhauled, is mindfulness. And that is what we're going into this this second quarter of the year and beyond. Anyways, thank you for joining me here. Moonlight Library, that's me. I'm Rachel. If you're new here, subscribe. If you're not new here, stay subscribed. I don't know. Anyways, bye, and you are a valued part of my life every day. Yes.